All right, so you got yourself a STIHL FS 70. Today we're going to go over the basics of ownership of a STIHL FS 70 string trimmer. We're going to talk about fuel, we're going to talk about some maintenance, and at the end of this video I'll put a link to the how to rewind your STIHL AutoCut 25-2 trimmer head. So before we get too far, let's back up, let's talk about fuel. This is a 2-cycle product, right? So it's going to take mixed fuel. We're going to put oil with gas. We got two ways we can do that. We can buy our STIHL HP Ultra oil. Generally I recommend buying the 1-gallon bottles. It's going to encourage me to go through the oil or fuel that I'm looking to go through because gas gets old, right? Has a pretty short shelf life. So I can either buy the HP Ultra oil, mix this with 1 gallon of ethanol-free fuel, or if I'm not using it a lot or I really want to take the ultimate care, I can run Moto Mix. This is STIHL fuel. It's 93 octane. It's pre-mixed. It's ready to go. I dump it in the tank. Benefit, no ethanol, 93 octane, in a 2-year shelf life once I crack the lid. These things run superb with this fuel. And if you aren't going to run it all the time, maybe just consider using it for hibernation. So as winter comes around, you put this in your tank and run it into the carburetor. So that's the fuel, the setup for that. Fuel is going to go right here. Here's your fuel tank. Let's go over starting real quick on this guy. It has STIHL's momentary kill switch, so it's always on. It's always ready to run. I'm going to prime it. The primer is hiding right on the back, right here. I'm going to give this 4 or 5 pumps, and really I can't flood it by priming it, but what I'm looking to do is get the fuel up to the carburetor. I'm then going to choke it. The choke is push in and rotate up, and that puts the choke on. Quick little trick, the choke is attached to the throttle trigger, so as soon as I hit this throttle trigger, it shuts the choke off. That's awesome, it's handy. That really enhances the starting process, but if I make the mistake of grabbing the trigger before I pull the rope, I'm going to shut the choke off and it'll lead to some frustration. So choke it, firmly grip the top of the handle, not the trigger, pull it once, pull it twice, pull it 3 times, and it's running. I immediately hit the choke or the throttle to shut the choke off. And it's going to take a little bit to warm up, so I'll usually let it idle for 20-30 seconds, kind of feather it into going. This thing will start easier, warm up faster, and have more power as it breaks in, usually around the 15-hour mark to get into full power. Now when I'm out using this thing and running this thing, I want to have ear protection. I also want to have safety glasses. STIHL sends a pair of safety glasses. Ear protection, we sell a full line. We've got the face shield with earmuffs. We've got just earmuffs, or you can run the traditional earplugs. Maintenance, we've talked about fuel. That's going to be your biggest issue. We should keep an eye on the air filter. It's going to come with this handy tool. It's got a Torx on one side. Here's my air filter screw. I'm going to take this screw loose. My cover's going to come off, and I've got a filter under there. Why don't you take a look at that once a year if you're a homeowner? Probably once a month if you're using this commercially. The spark plug is right under this black boot on the top. Probably throw a new plug every year. It's easy, it's cheap. Again, there's a link at the end of this video on how to rewind this head, but if you ever need to take this complete head off, this tool right here will slide in, lock the gearbox, rotate it till it locks, and then it's clockwise to take the whole head off. Why would I want to take this off? Well, maybe I want to switch to a different head that runs heavier line. For example, the STIHL DuroCut head, or maybe a Polycut head. So there's options there to switch your heads out. This machine is going to come with the shoulder strap, shoulder harness, take a little bit of the load off your arms. All right, fuel, that's probably the biggest problem. The other thing is, this is a 2-cycle machine. It's made to run hard. And occasionally I see the spark arrestor, that is the screen that is right down here in the muffler, get plugged up with carbon. It's a little bit of a bugger to get to, but if I have a flathead screwdriver and a needle nose pliers, I can pull that screen out, clean it, and replace it, or replace it with a new screen. How do I know I need to replace that screen? I start this thing up and it just really, it sounds constipated. It can't rev up, it can't accelerate. More than likely I got a plugged exhaust spark arrestor. So keep an eye on that. That's just something to put in the back of your mind. In order to avoid it, run good mix fuel, run proper line length, and run it hard. I know there's times that we need to kind of pussyfoot around, that's fine, but really it's best to use this thing and put it to work. As always, when you purchase a machine from Carl's Mower & Saw, you're gonna get this great folder. It's gonna have your model number, your serial number, your date of purchase, all of our information. Open this up, I'm gonna have an owner's manual for the FS70 right here, as well as a safety manual for the trimmer, a referral card, and some reminders about fuel specifically. Any questions, feel free to reach out to us, email us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more tips, tricks on getting the most out of your equipment and having a long life. Thank you for watching.